Sitting down in my chair. Right. Oh, man. Just dropped some ice shards on the floor. It's going to make the floor wet. I need to be careful. Hey, Celtic. Doing a couple of things tonight. Besides sitting and chatting and drinking. To make some of my clear ice come out of here. Be due to come out any time now. 88 Brigade. I'll say what I think is going to be a very brief hello. Raiders, good evening to you. I love the sound cracking ice makes. Because this is not my magic clear ice. I didn't bother to temper it. Because it's not clear anyway. It's pouring a room temperature drink over a big thing of ice. Just makes it crack. I love the sound of the ice cracking. But we'll get the drink. Not because I made that a while ago. I'm having trouble remembering what's actually in it. Raiders, you were chasing UFOs. Were there new UFOs to see? Were there? Because I actually think he was on the stream the other night. Team Valiant. Last of I don't know who you are. I don't let people I don't know join. And also usually not in the first 30 seconds on a Tuesday night. It's just tradition. So here you have me intrigued, Raiders, which makes me want to quickly check something. The internet search engine. It's not Google. Okay, it's a weird one. That's all good. Right, Raiders. No, I get you. And I have a strong suspicion you're correct. Celtic, I haven't heard from Aidsy for a couple of days. Anything could happen. I'm saying he wanted to join on Saturday night, but I wasn't streaming on Saturday night because it was date night. Yeah, well, Raiders, every now and then in vain, I hope in vain, sad little fucker's got a life and fucked off. And then he usually manages to do something stupid and embarrassing. I was like, ugh. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he was on the stream the other night. But... Wow, that is interesting. What the hell was in that? Also, not sure if the taste changes over a couple of days. Anyway. It's something right squad to make Tito horrible. Well, maybe. Celtic, we don't really have to invite people to be trolls. But we'll, let the chips fall where they may, as the saying goes. That's how the saying goes, isn't it? Let the chips fall where they may. I think so. We shall leave it to the fates. Hey, Nettie, how are you doing today? Just have to regularly remind myself what day it is, because time has no meaning. Hello, BX. Tuesday. Well, this tastes way boozier than I thought it would. Okay, I'm hoping because that does have whey in it. No, it's been there for a while, and I didn't refrigerate it. I'm hoping it doesn't semi-ferment. Hoping I'm just at this point. I'm hoping I'm not giving myself food poisoning. That'd be a turn up for the books, wouldn't it? Don't want that. Don't want that at all. That doesn't sound like fun. Yikes, indeed. That would be a thing of quite some concern. So I'll stay positive and say I'm not going to give myself food poisoning. I was going to shoot a bit of video tonight of making a sour apple liqueur. I've been macerating, which is to say soaking Granny Smith apples in vodka for about 5 days. And I also made the 2 syrups to go with it, an apple syrup and sweet and sour lemon lime syrup. The idea is I put all that together and have a sour apple liqueur that would theoretically be good. So, and I don't know why I got the whim to do this. It was just, I don't know, the thought popped into my head that you occasionally see like sour apple mix in bottle shops. And I look at it and go, well, that's clearly fucking terrible. That's just terrible. So the idea just got into my head to make one that's good. Liam Gallo, hello. And it also got in my head, I'm going to make like a 750ml bottle of it, which would be a bit of a thing if I end up not liking it. What the fuck is this? It's looshing in the ice. I should remember not to leave these things for so long. I think it's question. Hello again, Team Valiant. So yeah, I'm always experimenting. I don't know. I don't think it's obsessive behavior. Always wanting to do these experiments and make strange concoctions, but it's a thing that I do a fair bit of. I think maybe I won't make the liqueur tonight. I'm going to taste the vodka, actually. Guy I know who makes lots of homemade liqueurs. I said, how long should I leave it? And he said, I reckon at least 5 days, but taste it every day after day 3, which I have been tasting. And I think the apple has really softened the vodka. And I didn't think it tasted that much like apple. Like I just had a spoon and tasted it. And, okay. And then I drank some water and the water tasted like apple juice. So there obviously is a apple flavor there. And I agree with you, Annette. I can't see the New South Wales Premier's name or hear it spoken without calling him Parrot Head. It's clearly what he's been called his whole life. I mean, really. Particularly at school, kids are assholes. If you're at school and your name's Parrothead, kids are going to call you Parrothead. That's just, he's been called that his entire life. I have no doubt whatsoever he is just Parrothead. That's just the way it is. And it's not quite enough to make me feel sorry for him because he's a fucking pile of shit. Like he's bad. He is bad. A Trump-loving, anti-freedom, wannabe totalitarian religious zealot. He's fucking garbage. He's absolute fucking garbage. There were rumours even more New South Wales Liberals were going to resign. Like they had 3 resignations in as many days. And Nettie, yeah, I reckon he's at least as bad as Tony Abbott. So there were rumours that even more of the New South Wales LNP were going to resign. And So they'd end up being like this mini general election because there were so many by-elections. Be certainly enough to sort of change government, but who knows? Celtic want me to do an angry Quran and Bible reading. I don't know. I think that'd be less interesting than you think. And I think you or Toby sent me Qurans and Bibles. And one or two of them were nice additions and I think are actually still on the bookshelf. I freely admit when you convince those missionaries, I suppose they were Christian missionaries, that you convinced them to send this fucking huge box of books to me, which weighed a ton and would have cost a fortune to send. And I just opened it on the stream, laughed at some of the titles, and then threw them all in recycling. But I do remember there was ones, it was kind of like a nice edition of the Quran, and there might have been a nice edition of the Bible I kept too. Oh no, Nettie, you forgot to call your mum. You've got to call your mum. Okay. Oh, that's really disturbing, Raiders. I never paid that attention to him. He has Tony Abbott ears as well, does he? He certainly has that Tony Abbott ideology. So BX, you heard he wants to send everyone out no matter the vaccine. He has said some grossly fucked up things about the anti-COVID measures, like the chief health officer should get a pay docked if businesses suffer because of lockdowns. Like, he's a fucking garbage pile. He's just a vile bigot. He's all sorts of bad news. Celtic, it was Toby. You thought it'd be funny to see if I threw it out. Well, I know Toby sent some, but at one point some came directly from like some missionary group. I think the postage actually said it came from the US. Would have cost a fortune. But anyway, yes, I did throw them out. I kept one or two that were like nice additions. They might be just there. I could maybe find the ones I kept. I don't know. Liam, Celtic King just loves everyone and has an uncontrollable impulse to tell them. So it's love Tourette's. I think that's what it is. It's love Tourette's. And hello, Megalynch. Okay, I've got to be honest, I did not enjoy that. Still drank it. Not going to waste it. Oop, here it comes. Some ASMR, the noise this is going to make as it comes out. I thought it was going to come out then. I'm going to put it next to the mic. I hope it's frozen enough. I think it's frozen enough. There's a lot of water in there, though. I might not have left this in the freezer long enough. I really thought it was going to come out then. Here it goes. It's making, I hear air going in it. Sorry, this is riveting video. I know. I'm just trying to make a squelchy noise in the microphone. There's a lot of water coming out of it. See, because the coffee cup it's in is rigid. You know how like you flex an ice cube tray to get the ice to come out? I can't flex this because it's rigid metal. I was going to say steel. It's probably not steel. Probably aluminium. All right, I'll leave it for a minute because it usually makes a good slurping noise when it comes out. Hello, Abigail. Super fatigued. Going to bed. But it's nice of you to come in and say hello. Oh, that was it, Celtic. Toby went to the website and ordered it. Yeah, I thought so. I thought I remembered it coming direct from like a missionary group. Oh, it's making more noises like it's going to come out. Is it? Is this just a tease? It says, I just hear it making like slurpy noises. I'm getting increasingly worried I didn't leave it to freeze for long enough. It's only time. Hey, Stella knocked off early. Heaps to do. Popping by to say hi. It's always nice to see you pop in and say hi. All right, so I didn't do that, so I'm going to have to make something that I do enjoy. Probably just be an old-fashioned, quite honestly. Not in the mood to be fussy. Is it going to come out? Feels like it's going to come out. That's what she said. Title of my sex tape. It feels like it's going to come out. God, that's annoying. Anyway. Okay, that's obviously team code there. Ole out. And you don't really have to do that more than... Okay. Oh, okay. Is that Harry Potter? You need to not flood chat with stuff because that's a real good way to get blocked. Oh, well, there you go. There's an offer, Stella. Abigail's going to fall asleep and see you in dreams. So, hopefully that works out. Oh, dear. So, see, I mean, what's anything happening for the rest of the week? Tomorrow night's a TV watching night with Mrs. Angry, but Saturday night's not date night. So I will probably, although circumstances can change, I will probably do live streams on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week. I mean, and Sunday. Sunday's a regular night. Just only do every second. Okay, like, come on. This is almost coming. Come on, you got to come out. Come out. This is such a weird thing to... Anyway. Annoying. Right. What's the time? 8:16. Good. I've survived. 15 minutes of the stream. Life is hard. Yes. I thought I said stop saying that, but anyway. I don't know, I got a big chunk of ice in there. Okay, once more, and I am kicking you out, okay? Just don't flood chat with weird fucking things. Raiders, I'm maybe just delaying the inevitable, but I'm feeling... okay. Wow, some people won't be fucking told, will they? Honestly. I also think I know who that was. In speaking of UFOs. Yeah. I do find it consistently strange. People won't listen to really fucking straightforward things they're told. But I don't know. Some people are just fucking stupid. There's no getting around it. But, right. Okay. All right, I'm just going over here for a second and get my jigger because I like to be precise. I could be wild and crazy and reckless and free pour, but I'm a man of precision. And I want to get this. Where did I put it? Special sugar syrup made with chai. Spicy aromatics. I guess I want a stirring spoon too. This will do. Stirring spoon. Because I'm just going to put a spoon of that. Yes. Right, there's more time to look up in the sky. Oh, dear. Yes. Stella and I probably gave them far too much rope, but they did end up hanging themselves. So, say la vie. All right. Bitters. And maybe just a spoon of my chai syrup. There we go. Oops, spilled a bit of the syrup. Okay. Yeah, and I will say, when he was doing that thing where he wanted to be on, but wouldn't show his face. I thought I recognized his voice as well. Raiders, to see what actually took out Facebook. Has there been a definitive answer? I think like Facebook admitted it was an internal technical error. Are you referring to something else? Most of the smart people were saying early on that it looked like someone at Facebook changed like network settings, DNS settings, and because Facebook run everything through Facebook, and they made one mistake, which compounded and cascaded, and took them ages to. Was it like 6 hours altogether that it was offline, which in internet terms in the modern day is an eon. Like they would have lost, millions of dollars in revenue in that time. But old-fashioned. I should put a cherry in. This is always an excuse to have a cherry, because I like cherries. Actually, well, I know I'm gonna do a double whammy garnish. I'm gonna put an orange peel too, because Mrs. Angry likes to use the orange peel in a cup of tea. I got some orange peel I've been saving here. Still looks okay. Is to put some moisture in there so it doesn't dry out. So I want some of that orange oil flavour. Okay, we've got the stupid going on. No, Celtic King, that reference to 8 billion was a reference to the Facebook share price temporarily went down, and on paper, Mark Zuckerberg lost $8 billion. But that's meaningless. That's imaginary money and imaginary numbers. Radius, you preface by stating lack of specifics, put out an update, took the servers offline, building where the service was located using Facebook cybersecurity. Yeah, the main thing was Facebook made the very poor decision from an IT architecture perspective to run everything through Facebook. So when someone made this one mistake that took Facebook offline, everything they needed to fix the mistake was also taken offline because it all works through Facebook. But yeah, Celtic. So that 8 billion figure was about a temporary share price drop. But in terms of losing advertising for 6 to 8 hours, however long it was, that would definitely cost Facebook millions of dollars. That's a fun one, Raiders. They had to use angle grinders to access server cages. Yeah, they had to really resort to the physical to do the classic IT fix of switching it off and switching it back on again. That's literally what they had to do, as I understand it. All right. Finished up the old-fashioned. There we go. Ooh, that Archie Rose single malt's got just this really smoky note to it. That's very nice. So, not sure what you mean there, Liam Gallo thought on Manchester. I don't know what that means, just by the by. But yeah, I woke up to that Facebook outage. I thought it might have been my phone. Then I went on Twitter, and everyone on Twitter was, oh my God, Facebook's out. Yeah, Facebook's out. And because I work in like cybersecurity and I'm specifically looking at disaster recovery, I thought, okay, good day to talk to people about disaster recovery and how you can't trust web-based services. I really don't know why this isn't coming out. Liam Gallo, I only know Ishays in the abstract. I'm too old to get involved in the whole Ishay culture, and uh, I've just seen references to them being violent dickheads. But yes, I'm too old to really be on the wavelength of Ishays. Mm. Yeah, Raiders. I kind of agree that Facebook needs to be knocked down a couple of pegs. He'll be turning 39 soon. Good for you. Excellent. I remember that as a fine time. Wait, when was that? That would have been. Oh, I'm trying to get my brain to work and it's failing really badly. But anyway, in the noughties. Okay, so Liam, you love Manchester and hate Ishays. Okay. I've stayed overnight in Manchester. That's the most I know about Manchester. One of my visits to the UK, I did a road trip with a YouTube friend that went from Bath up to Edinburgh. I think on the way up, we stopped at Nottingham. Like we had an overnight stop because we were doing a road trip. And the next day we went up to Edinburgh, stayed in Edinburgh 2 nights, and then headed towards London. And I think we stayed in Manchester. So we didn't see anything of Manchester. We stopped at a hotel on the roadside, and then went on to London. So that's the depth of my interaction with Manchester. I slept overnight in a motel. Do you know what's here? I think I got I got a takeaway. There was a place up the road from the hotel, and I don't remember what the takeaway was. So, Raiders, you would miss Instagram. Yeah, I just randomly post stuff to Instagram. I don't use Instagram as a social media platform. I know a lot of people do, and I know a lot of people really quite like it as a social media platform. But I just randomly post that. Thanks for working that out for me, Raiders. It was 2005. I knew it was somewhere in the noughties. Still, you don't think you'd be that sad if the whole internet died tomorrow? I would. I'd be very sad. Very, very sad. I'm more than a tad dependent on the internet. So I'm just fixated with getting this ice to come out here. And I don't know why it won't. It shouldn't be stuck. This is really weird. It doesn't usually do this. All right, I'll come out soon. Yes, no one would pay attention to. I can get a small number of people to pay attention to me on the internet. I don't get anyone to pay attention to me off the internet. What else I could make with this? Got a bit of moisture in there. All right. Still got, what's that, about a third the bottle of the Archie Rose? It's all right. Oh my God, Liam. You had 3 Big Macs. Oh my God. I hope you enjoyed them. I had a croissant, which I topped with kebab chicken and some veggies that I pan fried, and then I covered that in cheese. So it was honestly a pretty weird dinner. And then I grilled that. So that was a pretty weird dinner. A croissant with kebab chicken, like mushroom, onion, and capsicum, and covered that in cheese and grilled that. And that was my dinner, which is honestly a bit of a weird dinner. PX, you had 1 Big Mac. I have to admit, I'm bougie. I love it. Just from where I live, there's 6 like boutique burger places within, like a suburb or two. Really good choices of things to get from all these bougie. And in fact, a new one just opened, which I'll have to try sometime soon. But yeah, so I buy expensive bougie burgers. Like they cost 3 to 4 times more than a Big Mac, basically. I also think they're 3 to 4 times better than a Big Mac. But yes, Celtic, my oozy sexiness would be somewhat confined without the internet. Music over since lockdown, the only McDonald's burger you like. Sausage and egg McMuffin. Sure, for dinner at times. Hash browns for dinner. Yeah, I can get that. Celtic, do I ever want to move back to my hometown? Fuck no. Fuck no. I'd lose my tiny little mind if I went back to Dubbo. That would just be not cool. Not cool. So yeah. New. So Stella, if you had to choose between Elon Musk's Skynet internet or no internet but clear skies, choose clear skies. Look, if I had the opportunity to push Elon Musk into a fucking volcano, I'd do it. The guy's fucked. BX, I live in Melbourne. So what's that, Raiders? People discussing new liquor licensing on Smith Street in Melbourne. Read last night was capturing. Well, yeah, I think the state government's likely to try and get businesses happening again. I think both the Melbourne City Council and the Victorian State Government are likely to be much more liberal in their liquor licensing approach. Celtic, I don't hate Dubbo, I just can't live there. Melbourne's, of the places I've lived, Melbourne's probably been my favourite place to live. I don't want to live anywhere else, put it that way. You go over to talking to Sydney friends. Wondering if you've moved back to Sydney. No, I lived in Sydney 10 years and I just can't conceive of moving back there. It's just so much easier to live in Melbourne. Sydney's too fucking stressful. Melbourne's hardly perfect, but Sydney's just so much more stressful than Melbourne. No, thank you, no. Still showered, ready to go out. Be listening. Nice, going out. Love it. Oof. If Abigail was still here, she'd be having hot flashes at the thought of you showering. But anyway. BX, will I be doing a call this evening? If you mean, will there be other people in the stream? Probably not. Don't usually do that on Tuesday. So, so it is. You found a new Melbourne company doing large skips, like the ones you'd hire for waste, into outdoor seating. Ooh, that sounds cool, actually. That sounds very interesting. I love when people do creative repurposing of things. Oh, come on. Freaking ice is... Why is the ice not coming out of this? This doesn't make any sense. That made it come out. I just needed to be violent with it. So there's my clear ice. I just got to chop that end bit off. Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm just going to be off camera for a little while. I'm just going to go around here to try and make less mess. Get a chopping board. Oh, no, I want a big knife. Serrated knife. That's really interesting. Why has that got impurities at that end? All right, I'm just going to make 2 bits of ice out of this. Just have to score it, and then... Oh, good. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. Fine. Oh, excellent. It's really going to be difficult. Oh, I love it when a plan doesn't come together. Right, there's weird impurities at the other end, which doesn't normally happen. But But I think that bit will come off easier. Yes, it did. Legend. So I have an impure bit of ice to put in my glass. I'm going to make something else to drink from it. There's just this uneven bit at the end. Word to the wise, ice is cold. Right. All right. Fuck me, that's cold. There's also enough. Right. Just gotta make 2 pieces of ice out of this. Score it. Tap it. Ooh, that worked really well. And put it in the freezer. Right, 1 and 2. There's the other plastic bag. All right. Some nice clear bits of ice for later in the week. I'll just put them in the freezer. Ugh, what a palaver that was. What a palaver. Ugh. Oh. He's going, what's stressing me about Sydney? The people, they're also stressed. It's all just, man, everyone's trying to be a thing in Sydney. And the traffic and getting around fucking sucked. Oof. Ooh, nice. Okay. Raiders told me about the skip business on Twitter. I actually want to check out. I might share it. Okay, so these crew are called Hello Skiplet, which is a fun name. Oh, that's quite neat. All right, I'm going to share these. I'm going to share this Instagram page. Where are we? Instagram. I don't know how clear that's coming out. It's like they use, big skips and they put seating in them. They're quite neat. I'm trying to think. That's a good example of one. It's like, it's a skip's been turned into outdoor seating. That's really quite neat. I quite like that. All right. I've got this stupid big bit of ice on top of my drink. What I should do is put it on the bottom. Watch angry, make a mess. All right, I didn't make a mess, which is a minor surprise to me. It's a big bit of ice, actually, and this is my double rocks glass. So, but thanks for sharing that, Raiders. That's quite a neat thing. The skips into outdoor seating. Yeah, it's now the time where venues will be looking for outdoor seating options because there'll be restrictions on indoor seating for a while yet. Good call, Raiders. Reinforced, safe for busy streets. Right, well, do you ever think of becoming a bartender? No, because my day job pays about 5 times better than a bartending job, and it just keeps me working during the day. I'm not out all night. Bartending's hard fucking work. People who work in hospitality in night venues work really fucking hard. And it's physically demanding. And as I have said before, though, if I won Lotto, I'd probably set up a distillery. I'd run a boutique distillery that'd just have like a little speakeasy bar, just a small bar, one that couldn't get overrun and over busy, like a maximum of about 12 people in there. And that would be fun. I'd probably enjoy that. Just having a really cozy little venue, but not working as a bartender. Oh, Jesus, no, that's far too much like hard work. As I said, my day job is easier and pays heaps more. Yeah, right. What I'll do, I love mixing drinks. I just don't want to work in a bar because it's really fucking hard work. Oh, there you go, Abigail. They put seats in a skip because they couldn't get a permit for outdoor seating in Fitzroy. Well, there'll probably be more of that. That Raiders, a private club, that would be the thing. I'd probably convert a warehouse if I win lotto. I convert a warehouse. Part of it would be a distillery, and there would be studios for recording stuff like YouTube videos and podcasts and whatnot. Probably not bands; they're too fucking noisy. And in a private club that you'd have to sign up to be a member of. That's probably what I'd do. Justin, hello. Yeah, 8:40. Just got big bits of ice. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a drink of water and think about. I'm going to have a drink of something else. Have a little drink of water. Oh. It's definitely one of my better lockdown purchases, that fridge. Replaced another fridge and freezer, and it's much more energy efficient and has that water dispenser. Win-win. Abigail, listening to the bed in stream. Well, that's nice. ASMR, yes. Oh, thank you for explaining the bit about skip seating too. Yes. And good evening to you, Safa. I think we're likely to see more. I was saying that just before. I think we're likely to see more liberal outdoor venue regulations around Greater Melbourne to help recover from COVID, essentially. Justin, Democrats abroad global told you they want to spend $1,000 in Australia for the upcoming election in Virginia. Okay. Sure. Why not? Yes, Safa. I had an old fridge and like a mini freezer, and I kept the mini freezer, but it's not plugged in. It's in the shed because I thought I might want that for something. But because the older fridge, the freaking seal was fucked and whatnot, and I went, you know what? And I said, guys, can you just take that one away? And they said, yes, we can. And it'd probably get refitted and sold to someone. So great. Because really the only thing that was wrong with it is the door seal was fucked and I'm too useless to fix it. But also this, as I said, this one is much more energy efficient. So over a couple of years, it'll end up paying for itself because it uses that much less energy than the one it replaced. Raiders, wasn't there a plan for large pontoons? Maybe. I don't know what that's in reference to. But I'm hoping around November, December, a couple of my favorite places in the city reopen and I can revisit them. Probably it's like there's nothing good about COVID. But I do like how when I buy booze from local distillers or when I buy takeaway, that's me being civic minded and supporting businesses. It's not me being indulgent. It's not me being just really bougie. Like, no, I'm supporting small business. I do love that. Oh, thanks, Liam Gallo, for dropping a like. So if you saw a chart that said there'd be 5,200 cases in Victoria by the end of the month, up to 8,000 at the end. Look, anything's possible at the moment. That we are moving to the point where the single most important number is hospitalizations. There we go. You're looking for non-working printers of any model to strip for parts. Need a largish clear acrylic tube or two for a project. Okay. I have, when we're not locked. Oh, actually, I'm allowed to go over to your place now. Maybe this weekend. I have an old printer I can give to you. I don't think I have any clear acrylic tubes though. And Music Elevator. I think those fuckhead protests are responsible for like 50% of the cases we're getting. And yeah, it's just people not following the rules. I'm just depressed as fuck about the numbers and don't pay any attention anymore. Suggestion: you're going to launch an ad campaign for the US midterms next year once the Australian election kicks off. Deliberate distraction from the Australian election. Nice. I like it. I like it because I'll probably want to be distracted. Hoofed. The idea of Morrison getting re-elected is fucking horrific. I will just lose all faith in humanity if that happens. And I think it has a better than average chance of happening. I think it's the most likely outcome. And that depresses the fuck out of me. And yes, Raiders, it is promising, the New South Wales numbers falling, which suggests in another couple of weeks with the continuing rate of vaccination, because we're still doing great in the vaccination rates in Australia, things will be under control. Like I said, it really comes down to what's important is what happens to the health service. Mrs. Angry works for health, not in hospitals. She's a counsellor, psychologist, but so she hears what the health service is doing. And the health service, and for those who want to know just how fucked it is, and this is all fuck, this can all, and I mean all of it, can be laid at the feet of Gladys Berejiklian and Scott Morrison. Gladys for not locking down when she should have, when the outbreak started in New South Wales. And that's the only reason we are having the outbreak in Victoria. And Morrison for absolutely fucking up the vaccine rollout and quarantine. It's all their fault. But the health service in Victoria are gearing up to be completely overwhelmed until like February next year. So fucking light a candle for health workers, because they are just going to be under the worst fucking stress for the next 4, 5, 6 months. It's just going to be really bad. Hate anti-vaxxers, hate anti-lockdown protesters, self-absorbed scum. Fucking hate them. Liam Gello. Who do I support in NRL? I just don't follow sport, man. I don't follow sport. And who would I rather, Gladys or the new guy? Okay, the new guy is a religious ideologue, and fuck people who say he's worse, honestly. They're all the LNP. They're all doing the same policies. They're all fucked. They're all fucked. And Justin, New South Wales by-elections may well tell us something about upcoming federal elections. Then again, they might not. You just can't predict it. You can't predict anything. The more confident anyone is in their predictions, the less you should trust them. That's my little takeaway. You can't predict anything. So the more confident someone says they are about a prediction, the less trustworthy they are, essentially. Radio saying St. Vincent's have divided their admin staff 2 groups to protect them. Lots of added stress. Just people across the health service are being dragooned into doing contact tracing, working in vaccine centers, delivering oxygen monitors to people. It's basically the health service has gone, man, the next 6 months are going to be fucked, aren't they? It's just going to be fucked. And they're just trying to repurpose everyone. So you by-election and pandemic, that's selfish. By the time there's an election, New South Wales won't have any restrictions. The by-elections are from what I read, are probably going to be timed to coincide with some local council elections, which are scheduled to happen in early December. was also the fun rumor that even more LNP MPs might resign, and it might become a mini general election, which would be interesting. Justin, you're saying Barilaro seats marginal. I don't know if it classifies as marginal, but it's definitely in play. Of the three that are having by-elections, Berejiklian's is the safest, although that doesn't really mean anything at the moment. The other two are definitely in play. If you were a gambling person, you'd say they will probably return to the LNP, maybe to a conservative independent. And it's a much safer bet that Berejiklian's would go to the Liberal Party, but it's nothing's for sure. Nothing's for sure. It's all very weird, volatile, and unpredictable. Who knows what's going to happen? Not me. So, yeah, anything could happen. Anything could happen. Yes, yeah, and Raiders, the next actual state elections not due to 2023, but 3 by-elections for a state government that's somewhat under siege, that only has a 1-seat majority, has got to make them a bit nervous. Like I said, when I saw this rumor that more LNP MPs might resign, so early December might turn into a mini state election, like there could be up to 6 seats. I don't know that I believe that rumor, but there's 3 has got to make them nervous. If it got up to 5 or 6, it would have to make them super fucking nervous. And there could be a change of government. Oh yeah, Justin, New South Wales politics is the most corrupt in Australia. Always has been. And that's whether it's under Liberal or Labor. It's just always been corrupt. And from the early days of the colony, it's always been corrupt. New South Wales is so fucking corrupt. So this is not a slander on any particular political party. It's just talking about New South Wales politics. New South Wales politics, so fucking corrupt. I mean, in the modern era, in the 70s, the Liberal Premier, Askin, I mean, like, that guy was actually photographed at opening night parties of illegal casinos in King's Cross. He absolutely opened the door into organised crime. He opened the door for organised crime to get into politics in New South Wales in the 70s. But then Nifty Neville Rand from the Labor Party came in, and man, he turned it into a fucking machine. He turned political corruption into a fucking machine. And it's just continued. I mean, you know, Queensland politics is like backcountry corrupt. It's like good old boys corrupt. New South Wales politics is just professionally corrupt. Sally Ezra is saying about Queensland, it is a toss-up. It's a different style of corruption. Queensland is good old boy hick corruption, and New South Wales is just brutal, wearing a shiny business suit, organised crime corruption. Safa, look, all politics is corrupt. There's definitely questionable shit happens in Victoria. And again, this goes to whoever is in government. And even if it's not corruption, it's governments doing questionable things to shore up certain voting blocks. And no political party is innocent of that. I mean, I would say Dan Andrews steps over the incredibly low bar of being the best political leader in Australia. That's damning with faint praise. To call him the best political leader in Australia is damning with faint praise. But there's shit he's done that you look at it and go, what the fuck was that? It's absolutely right. Did Gladys really win a 20-seat margin in 2019? And now in 2021, no, she didn't have a 20-seat margin. They've only got like a 1-seat margin. Oh, you mean in her seat? She's you meant okay. I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. You mean in her seat, there's a 20% margin in her seat, which I think is correct. Yes. Oh yeah, Raiders. Look up Eddie Abede if you want a really fucking corrupt dude. And is he in jail now? I'm sure he got corrupted. I'm sure I'm not in trouble for saying he's corrupt. And that's all tied in with Eddie Abede was tied in with the Labor Party. But I think I feel like he also did corrupt shit with the Liberal Party because he was a equal opportunity corrupt dude. He didn't care about the political party. He just cared about the money. Eddie Abede. I'm sure he's in prison. I'm sure he got convicted. I'm sure he's in prison. I'm sure I'm safe saying he's corrupt. I don't want to be friendly Geordies and get sued. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to make that sweet and sour thing. Justin, you think the most underrated state leader is Andrew Barr from the ACT? Don't take it personally, man. It's because the ACT doesn't count for shit. It's the ACT is just a country town that happens to have its own legislature. That would be the reason he's underrated, because he has no impact on the country. Right, I'm going to wander over here. All right. Here's my vodka that's got Granny Smith apples in it. All right. You probably can't see it. Maybe you can. It's slightly yellow. Light greens. It's got some color from the peel. I'm going to taste it, see if it tastes like apple. I'll probably make a video about this tomorrow, actually, rather than doing it on the stream. So I'm just going to taste these. All right. That actually, wow, that has really taken the edge off the vodka. It's got like Costco French vodka. Man, that's really smooth at the moment. Nice. A music editor, you think it's hilarious? Barilara's resignation, resigning and defending myself against friendly Geordies. Yeah, I mean, Barilaro is fairly shameless, basically. So does Darwin have an impact? No, Darwin doesn't have an impact. Still, the last 20 minutes has been, oh, you've had a roller coaster. Friend, oh no, friend cancelled your plans to catch up tonight. No. Oh, yes. Got a booty call all on a school night. Fuck yeah. Swings and roundabouts. That's what I call swings and roundabouts. Oh no, friend's not catching up. Oh, yeah, booty call. Nice. Man, that's actually, wow, that is really good. This apple vodka is actually really quite good. Really mild. All right. So the liqueur will ultimately be this. An apple syrup I made and a lemon lime syrup I made. And maybe some additional lime juice to make it more sour. Oh, okay, that's an interesting one. Safra asked the question, Justin answered. Canberra contracts the Australian Federal Police to do state policing. That seems slightly complicated, but it's always good to get those insights into how things work, actually. Oh, right. Okay, so that's good. I'll probably make that video tomorrow. What's it? It's 9 o'clock. Kind of feel like making another drink, and I don't know what to make. Sure, I'm just going to put this back. Life is hard. So am I. Okay, so I'm annoyed with myself. Sometimes because it's not that far off Halloween, right? So I'm going to make some Halloween cocktails, and I remember finding some really dramatic sort of blood red cocktails online, and I never bookmarked it. I never wrote it down. I never kept any notes, and now I can't remember what they are. And I'm really annoyed with myself because I found these cocktails. I thought that looks really cool. That would be a good Halloween cocktail. It's this really blood red color. And the fact that I can't remember it annoys the shit out of me. Because I should have written it down, or I should have bookmarked it or something. And I was just like, oh, that's good. And no, I didn't remember it. So, Raiders, you're saying Gladys had a 20-seat margin going into the 2019 election. She won in 2019 with a reduced majority of 12 seats. Now, okay, I don't understand how that's possible, because I know 2 LNP MPs who got caught up in some corruption scandal left the LNP but sit on the crossbenchers and support the LNP. How did they go from a majority of 12 seats to a majority of 1 seat? I don't understand. Yep, sorry, I dropped some ice shards. Yes, I have made the kitchen tile floor dangerous, and it's being looked after. Yep, Brady, link me the wiki. Well, I mean, okay, I'm going to look. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you've looked up. You're right. New South Wales state election. (2019). Okay, so the state election in 2019. So the result was the Libs went in with 54 seats. Labor went in with 34 seats. At the end of the election, the Libs had 48 seats and Labor had 36. So that's interesting. The Libs lost 6, but Labor only gained 2. So it was the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party picked up 3 seats. That's where those went. So, okay. So the Libs lost 6 seats. 4 of them went to independents. The Shooters, Fishers, Farmers Party, I call them independent. So Labor actually only picked up 2 seats. So, okay, how many seats are there in the legislature? I have forgotten. 93. Okay, so 93. So a majority is 47. Now, somehow, since the election, the LNP has gone from 48 seats. Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. Sorry. Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I understand it. So 48 seats is a bare majority of 93 seats, but they've gone down since then, and they're only still in government because of the support of independents, and that includes a couple of LNP people who got disgraced and are now sitting on the crossbenches and supporting them. Yeah. No, that absolutely makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of like the LNP can't stop failing, but the ALP can't manage to win, which is deep sigh. But yeah, I mean, 3 seats in play is really volatile. But again, I still think even if the Libs, I suppose what could happen. Okay, I think a worst case scenario for the LNP is if they lost, if even if there was only 3 by-elections, even if no more MPs resign, there's 3 by-elections. If they lose 2 or 3, even if they don't go to Labor, even if they all go to Conservative Independents, so if there's 3 by-elections and they lose 2 or 3 of them, then they're governing with a significant minority. There could be a vote of no confidence in them, which could result in a statewide election being fought. Now, I think there are enough conservative independents that won't happen. But who knows? Right, is the coalition split Liberal Party would not exist. The Liberal Party have never won majority government. That's a really important thing to remember. Since their formation in the 1950s, the Liberal Party has never won majority government. It's always been in coalition with the Country Party. Raiders, Gladys, of the 3 that are coming up for by-elections, Gladys is the safest. It's like 20-something%. But what we have seen in the past is Liberal Party seats with that sort of margin have gone to Conservative independents in protest votes. So, and once to Labor, but usually it goes to Conservative independents. Maybe I should just try this. Got one of my clarified drinks here. That was not particularly appealing ASMR, really. Try that. Tassie, what are we drinking with politics tonight to make it more palatable? Tassie on Twitch, good question. This is a clarified version of a cocktail that has coffee, liqueur, Mr. Black, 2 different sorts of rum, cream of coconut, and chai syrup. Bit of a concoction of mine. And I'm just trying it. Let it chill for a bit. Raiders with the rise of Unite Australia Party occur more ultimately doing this more. Except what happened in the last federal election where Clive Palmer's bullshit won no seats and all they did was redirect all their preferences to the LNP. So what it was a scam. It was basically conservative voters who are frustrated with the LNP, they being the moronic fucks they are. I'm going to vote for Clive Palmer. That'll teach the Liberal Party a lesson. And Clive Palmer just directed all the preferences to the LNP. So a vote for the Clive Palmer Party was a vote for the Liberal Party, which is a bunch of bullshit. But anyway, Tassie, does sound right. The interesting thing, this was actually made for competition for Mr. Black, an Australian coffee liqueur. And I don't like coffee, but I managed to make a drink that I actually liked. And I haven't had a proper taste of this clarified version of that drink. So okay, that's really good. That is wow. It's got a lot going on. It's still got that coffee flavor. I can taste the coconut because it's got cream of coconut. So it starts off sweet, and then it's got this sort of boozy, just that coffee bitter, not really harsh bitterness, and the taste that stays with you is a coffee taste. It's actually really good. I'll save a bit of that because Mrs. Angry particularly likes coffee. I don't really like coffee at all. And I'm surprised I like this drink. I'm just going to have a little bit of it. I'll save the rest for Mrs. Angry because I think she'll like it even more. Oh, Raiders, yeah, I get that you'd understand it. You're looking for party faithful perspective. The LNP is much more under threat from truly independent conservatives and the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party, which is a conservative pressure group, which has been having some electoral success for the last sort of 6 years in both Victoria and New South Wales. So Clive Palmer's a fucking stooge. He's just a horrible, gross, quivering lump of fucking garbage. Clive Palmer's fucking scum. And you look at the shit that's happened through his companies, and it's hard to escape the feeling Clive Palmer should be in fucking prison. But he's not. But yeah, the Clive Palmer, you're not Australia Palmer. With it, I was like, how fucking pathetic do you have to be to try and be a pale copy of Donald Trump? Like, that's just pathetic. To not even be your own brand of conservative, to try and be this pathetic, pale imitation of Trump. That's just like the epitome of being an absolute fucking loser. And that's why the United Australia Party won no seats. Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party, who are their own thing, they won 3 seats and not in the Senate, the fucking Legislative Assembly. They got 3 MPs in the New South Wales Parliament. Clive Palmer has nothing except, because he delivered the election to the LNP. I'm sure he got some fucking kickbacks from the LNP, but Ray, do you think Clive Palmer should fall into mine dug by his unpaid employees? Yeah. So if you reckon Clive Palmer would definitely not get flowers at his office, he is not a well-regarded individual because there's so many lawsuits related to his companies about people not getting paid and such like. He's a fucking scumbag. Yeah, it's just it's not good, is what I'm saying. So, Justin, Clive Palmer is not Australia's Donald Trump. Clive Palmer wants to be Australia's Donald Trump and fails, which is even more pathetic. Clive Palmer is just a pathetic fucking loser. He's just a festering bag of pus. He's just so contemptible, that guy. He just fucking sucks, basically. And speaking about people who, I know he's got various lawsuits against him and whatnot. I think he is basically lost every court case. But yeah, Christ, the list of people who should be in fucking prison, he's right up there. So, he'll probably die before he can face proper justice for what he's done. Right? Do you reckon Palmer's more wealthy than Trump? Well, Trump has no real assets. Trump's all piss and vinegar and debt to Russian oligarchs. Trump managed to go broke running a casino, which should be impossible, but he's a fucking idiot. Ugh, God, what a gross thought, Justin. If Donald Trump and Clive Palmer were in the same room, what had happened? Clive Palmer would suck up to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump would be embarrassed and would be saying, "Who is this guy?" And that's when you know you fucking suck, if Donald Trump's embarrassed to be seen with you. Just the worst. Although I don't know, because Trump's such a schemer and he has so many criminal connections. The fact that Palmer actually has some connection to physical assets, which Trump just doesn't have. Palmer has connection to physical assets, as tenuous as it is with the mines and stuff. Trump might see Palmer as someone he could exploit. And Palmer is so pathetic and shallow and desperate and vain. He would fall for Trump's bullshit. And he'd get ass fucked by Trump, which he would deserve. He would absolutely deserve. But, I mean, you just said, Trump and Palmer in a room. But what about Trump and Palmer and a hand grenade in a room? A hand grenade that I had pulled the pin off and thrown in the door and closed the door. See, now we're talking. That's an imaginary situation that I can get behind. Trump and Palmer in a room, just gross. Trump and Palmer and a hand grenade with a pin pulled in a room, that's interesting. That's something I want to see. That is a thing I want to see. So that's my 2 cents on that topic. And you're right, Justin Palmer's a version of Trump that never became president. The weird thing is Trump never wanted to be president. It was just a grift. It was just a publicity thing for him. He was so fucking depressed when he actually won the election because he didn't want to. Ooh. Raiders, I'm giving you PUBG flashbacks. Yeah, that type of thing. Yes. So I'm going to show you something. I was cleaning the labels off some bottles today. Managed to empty some bottles. Two interesting shaped bottles that I emptied. And I thought I'd keep the bottles because they were interesting shape. This one was a Lark blended whiskey. Ooh, look the way I ripple under there. Blue, ripply glass. I don't know if it shows up. It kind of shows up. Oh, there it is. There's a little crest there that I didn't even know was there until I took the label off. Because it was under the label. Lark Distillery crest, which is neat. And so I'm just going to keep this. I'll probably, make drinks and put it in. But this other one was a Mr. Black coffee liqueur bottle. And it's got this weird, we put it on my face. You might be, it's got these weird sort of occulty symbols on it, which I really like. Mr. Black do really trippy bottles. Got another little one that's printed on the bottle. Like that's not a sticker, that's painted onto the bottle, whatever process they use to do that. So I'm keeping this because I think that will be cool. Also have a little one that Steve the bartender sent. Doesn't have a print on it, but the bottle is embossed with all sorts of weird mystical symbols, eyes and owls and whatnot. So I don't know what occult shit they've got going on at Mr. Black, but I like what they do with the bottles. Justin, I agree. Trump's wife was definitely unhappy when he won. I also have no sympathy for her. Yeah. Nice Raiders in PUBG. Used to, which for those who don't know, is PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, an online battle royale game. You used to let guys into double-story houses, and as they rushed the door, they were met with grenades, perfectly timed. Nice. Yes. I'm not sure if that gets me attention from the federal police talking about Donald Trump, Clive Palmer, hand grenade. In Minecraft, okay? I actually don't think in real life violence is the answer. It's just a rumination. Wow, it's already, what is it? Oh, no, it's earlier than I thought. Okay. I just had just a little taste of that. I'm going to save the rest for Mrs. Angry. What's going on? I'm thinking I'm going to have a little, this thing I got on spec, which turned out to be quite good. From the Bricks Distillery, they do rum and rum derivatives. And I love puns and wordplay. And when they had something called Citrus Got Real, as opposed to, shit just got real. Just a cane spirit with ruby grapefruit, lemon myrtle, golden bay leaf, pink peppercorn, native bush currant. It's like, nice. It's just like a cocktail on its own. Just got to have a little bit, though. Justin, daylight saving feels pointless in lockdown. Well, we'll be out of lockdown soon. Starts easing up in November, December. So who's heavier, Palmer or Trump? I don't know how tall Palmer is, because Trump's about 5'11". He lies and talks about being 6'2", but there are photos of him next to people who are over 6 foot, and he's noticeably shorter than him. Trump's a pathetic, weak, venal, egotistical, insecure loser. And I don't actually know how tall Clive Palmer is. Guess off the top of my head would be Palmer would be noticeably heavier. But, that's just the thing. I mean, I'm a fat bastard. I'm not criticizing someone just for being fat. With all the gross, disgusting, vile personality traits Palmer and Trump have, the last thing I'm going to do is criticize them on their weight. That's not a negative character aspect. Everything else about them is what I criticize them on. Hey, Toby, on Facebook. Shit just got real. Oh, that's incredible. I mean, they don't market this as a cocktail. It's fucking 38% alcohol. And your average cocktail is much lower. Not all cocktails are that much lower, but on average, they're much lower. And it's just like 38% alcohol. Safa, did Palmer spend more of the money than Trump last election? Oh, no. Trump burned through hundreds of millions of dollars. Palmer spent millions, but Trump's spent hundreds of millions. Raiders, you're saying Palmer's apparently 1.82 meters? Trump's up 1.9, which is probably bullshit. So, okay, so they're probably very similar heights. All right, I need my converter. Again, weirdly, height I only understand in inches. Converter, length. Okay, so 6 foot is 72 inches. Is that right? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, so centimeters is 182. Okay, so they're saying, no way Trump's 1.9 meters. They're saying Palmer's actually 6 foot tall. That's 1.82 meters is 6 foot tall. I suspect that's also bullshit. But centimeters, 190 is 74 inches. So yeah, Trump says he's 6'2", and he's not. He's about 5'11". And I suspect Palmer's lying about his height too, because they're both shallow, fucking egotistical things. Says the 5'8" short guy. See, I did. And also, don't gloss over being a fat bastard. Whereas Clive Palmer puts photoshopped versions of himself on election posters, which is fucking sad. So I think they're both lying about their height. I think they're both like 5'11" or shorter. Because Trump's just been photographed next to people who are 6'1", and he's noticeably shorter than them. Pathetic, really. Yes, and I was, Musical Aviator. I was specifically thinking of Obama, who's 6'1" and is obviously taller than Trump, and Trump claims to be 6'2", and he's 5'11", and Palmer is maybe the same height. I haven't seen Palmer next to people because no one wants to stand next to Palmer. Wah wah. Insecure guys cause so many problems. Just throwing it out there, most of the world's problems caused by insecure guys. It's yikes is all I'm going to say. Yikes. Man, this stuff is fucking great. I've become a huge fan of the Brix Distillery, which I got and I mentioned before because there was a survey for people who were into booze in Australia, like what's your favourite Australian booze, and they compiled the list of Australia's hottest 100, and the highest ranked rum was Brix White. And so I determined I was going to get it because it was the highest ranked. And when I was on the site, they had this too as a limited edition. I thought, that sounds cool. I am so fucking glad I got this. Like I said, this is like a 38% alcohol cocktail. Most cocktails are somewhere in the 20 to once everything is mixed in them. Cocktails tend to be 20 to 25% alcohol. This is 38% alcohol. Even an old fashioned, which is spirit, it's just spirit, sugar and bitters, and then you stir it on ice. So if you say the spirit's 40%, adding the sugar, the bitters, and stirring it on ice, and the ice dilutes a bit, adds a bit of water, dilutes it to 30%. I suppose an old fashioned is somewhere between 30 and 35%. This is 38%. And like a martini, which is a blend of like 40% gin and 20% vermouth, but then you mix that on ice. So a martini is going to be under, well, depending how you make it, a martini is going to be about 30% alcohol. Nettie, you're back at last. I hope you've been having a good evening. Yeah, see, Musical Aviator, although the English had this slander on Napoleon Bonaparte being really short, I think he was like my height. He was 5'7", 5'8", which for the time was a very average height. It was not short at all. The whole thing about Napoleon Bonaparte being really short was just a slander that the English came up with to try and undermine this guy who was fucking conquering all of Europe, like was just doing the most amazing shit. Helly and hello, Kirsten. Lovely to see you. Suffered Trump's hair should have grayed in office. You know, Trump dyed his hair. Trump is, and his hair's fake. Oh, dude, Trump's just fucked. Kirsten, I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous one. I bought the Brix White rum because it was the highest rated rum in that Aussie hottest 100 booze list. When I was on the site, they had this Citrus Got Real. It's a cane spirit with ruby grapefruit, lemon myrtle, golden bay leaf, pink peppercorn, native bush currant, 38% alcohol, and it tastes like a fucking cocktail. It's great. That's what I'm drinking at the moment. I'm a bit smashed now. So I've suddenly become a fan of the Brix Distillery. But I think I have enough rums at the moment. I definitely, in the last 2 weeks, I bought more bottles of booze than I intended to. And it was partly, I intended to buy this, so that was not too much. But I wandered into a... when I went in for my dentist appointment last week, I was in the QV building and I had to buy something. So I got free parking, which like saved me $38 or whatever. And the Woolworths BWS in QV had this shelf of Australian gins. and half of them were on these outrageous specials, like 25% off. And so I bought a couple of bottles I'd had no intention of buying. And then when I went to Costco, they had another Australian gin, the 40 spotted Pinot Noir gin. It was cheap, and I had no intention of buying that. But it was like, oh, look, it's cheap. Getting that. Music over, you heard a theory. The French had different measurements. The difference between British feet and French feet. I have not heard that. It is always possible because pre-metric measurements were ridiculous. They made no sense and they were very imprecise. Pre-metric measurements were ridiculous. Kirsten, you dream of 25% off gin. Did I show you the gins I got? Because they were ridiculous. Like there were like 5 gins that were on these amazing specials, and I had to look at them and work out which one I was. Okay, I'm not getting all of them, but I'm definitely getting some of them because they're on these outrageous specials. I'm such a sucker for specials. You want me to spend money that I never intended to spend, you just put something on special. And I just go, fuck me. That's a great price. So what did I get? They're down here. I'm going to drink some more water. Oh, man, that Brix citrus is so good. I must put it. I think I need to put a review on the Brix site for the citrus got real. Like, dude, this just tastes like a cocktail, and it's like you can drink it straight, and it's 38% alcohol. Get fucking wrecked, man. Get riggedy fucking wrecked, son. You must buy this because you can get fucked up. And it doesn't taste like you're getting fucked up. Kids, drink responsibly. Pay no attention to me and my excesses. This is Water Safa. Thank you for tuning in. Kirsten, you've been playing black box roulette. Pick a box, number between 1 and 6. Oh, that sounds like a fun game. I friggin' love that. You're just getting stuff from your collection and doing a roulette with them. I like that. I like that. I could do it with like play it Dungeons and Dragons style because I've got like 4 shelves on my drinks carts. So do a 4-sided get between 1 and 4. Okay, and then decide. So I'm getting something off that shelf, and then like a 20-sided die, and okay, which one am I drinking off there? That actually sounds fun. Kirsten, the Brix White is really interesting. I don't know if I've already made a daiquiri with it. I think I need to make a daiquiri with it. I like the Jimmy Rum Silver. I like the Brix White, a couple of Australian white rums. But this is fucking amazing. Like I said, something that tastes like a cocktail, but is actually 38% alcohol. Fuck me. Safa, do I have the fanciest drinks in Melbourne? Oh, fuck no. But for someone who doesn't work, okay, I reckon for someone who doesn't work in the industry, I might have a pretty impressive collection because I remember going to the Bitters Lab in Fitzroy, which is a fucking great outlet. And one time I was there, the person who's working the register, she was the daughter of the people who own the place. And she was talking about the shit her parents have at home. And she was going, oh my God, they've got these like individual bottles that are worth $1,000 and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And I said, and when I said how many bottles I had at home, she just looked at me and was like, you're not in the industry? No, I'm not in the industry. I just have that many bottles. It's just going, okay, that's a lot. So, Kirsten, you had a taste of a white sugar-based spirit today. Is that an Archie one coming out on Feb 15? Oh shit, Kirsten! I got an email from Tiny Bear. They're releasing a shit ton of stuff before Christmas, including a single malt whiskey, which I feel like I'm going to have to get, and probably like 4 or 5 gins. They said they've been decanting stuff from barrels, and they're telling us this is good, and it's actually going for public release somewhere between November and December. And I'm just like, hello, you have my attention. So I'm thinking before Christmas, I'm probably going to be getting a couple of bottles from Tiny Bear. Nettie, you got that email too? Yes. Because I think I still have one of last Christmas's ones. The little sample bottles. Yeah, no, I've still got a little. I got the 3 Christmas. Yeah, Kirsten, you got it too. I got the 3 Christmas ones last year. I still have a little bit of the Christmas pudding one. It's the only one of the 3 I have stuff left. But yeah, I got, oh man, that email where they said, oh yeah, we're releasing a single malt. We're releasing a barrel aged gin. We're releasing our Christmas gins. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Tiny Bear, you rock. Do I still have? No, it fell off. Okay. I tried to save the label from the Tiny Bear, but it fell off. I kind of stuck it on there, and my recycling things are just down here, so it fell into the recycling, so I chucked it into recycling. Oh well. But yeah, I think oh yes, the barrel aged ginger beer gonna be phenomenal. Yeah, I reckon Tiny Bear are getting a few fucking dollars from me before the end of the year, because the way they hyped up. Safa, Tiny Bear they're just very good distillers. They Kirsten will correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like Tiny Bear specialize in gin, and they make some good gins. Last Christmas, I got their Christmas gins. It was a 3-pack sample bottles. They were all good. I've got one left. They're Christmas pud, which literally fucking tastes like Christmas pud. They're releasing a single malt gin before the end of the year. They're releasing a barrel-aged ginger gin before the end of the year, and they're releasing their Christmas ones. So okay, now we're talking about it. I'm just going to look up. Oh shit, I've got them bookmarked. The Tiny Bear Distillery. Yes, I'm 18. So, okay. Things you can buy from Tiny Bear at the moment. So their standard ones are the Gypsy, the Doctor, and the Sailor. The Sailor's their overproof, their Navy strength one. And I've had, because I got the sample pack that was the Gypsy, the Doctor, and the Sailor. They're all good. They're all good. And there was their Okay, so that's the only ones they've got on the site at the moment. And okay, the Australian Summer. So the Christmas ones last year were the Australian Summer, Ginger Bear, and Christmas Pud, and they were all fucking good. The only one I've got left is Christmas Pud, but the Australian Summer one was a really nice gin. So basically, Tiny Bear make nice gins, but before the end of the year, they're going to release a single malt whiskey, a barrel-aged ginger gin, and their Christmas gins. And so, yeah. You're right, Kirsten. The sample pack from Tiny Bear was the first Aussie booze that you convinced me to buy. And they make their own base spirit, which is bonkers. Yeah. And Kirsten, you've been chatting to Damo and Mando from Tiny Bear today. Nice. Nice. Yeah, so it would have been, I got the sample pack. What you convinced me to get, Kirsten, was the sample pack, which was the Gypsy, the Doctor, and the Sailor, which is their core gins. And I got sample packs of them. All fucking good. And then I ended up getting their Christmas ones as well. But yeah, that email they sent when they enticed with, before the end of the year, we're releasing a single malt whiskey, we're releasing a barrel-aged gin, and we're releasing our Christmas gins as well. So, well, Tiny Bear are getting a few fucking dollars from me again before the end of the year. So, Safi, you were cold today. It was a bit fresh. Not necessarily cold. We are getting some low overnights in Melbourne at the moment. I'm looking at the bomb. We're getting as low as, okay, tonight's meant to be 7 overnight, but then it's meant to get up to 22. And then it's 8 overnight and only 16 on Thursday. So we're still, yes, it's just fucking raining. It is just fucking raining for the next week. So I've had to put my laundry inside rather than online. Kirsten, it's your Archieversary today. Fucking hell, a whole year. That's wild. Okay, I didn't even know I was doing it, but prior to you getting here, I marked your Archieversary. I made an old-fashioned with Archie single malt. So there you go. Something in my brain knew it was your Archieversary. So I celebrated your Archieversary with the Archie Rose single malt. Nice. L3, hello. Apple Liqueur. Glodstrike, never mix them. Oh no, I feel like L3D Tube has had a heavy night. Raiders, it was worth having a fire today. It was brisk. Mrs. Angry and I went for a walk in the afternoon and it was brisk. It wasn't cold, but it was brisk. So nice. Kirsten celebrating tonight with a rye malt. I have to I am going to work my way through my Gospel limited edition malt, their barrel strength one they did with Blackheart and Sparrow. That's going to be empty soon because it's so good. I've been drinking so much of it's almost gone. I actually went to Blackheart and Sparrow the other day. There's a couple Blackheart and Sparrow bottle shops within a couple suburbs of me, and I went to one. I was definitely hoping they had a bottle of this rye there, but they didn't. I got something else while I was there. I need to decide what my next Australian rye is going to be. Reg, you're sticking with the outer eastern burbs, colder. Yeah, no. The further you get into the country areas, the colder it gets, definitely. So, yeah, I was kind of tempted to get the Archie White Rye, actually, because I thought that would be because that's borderline moonshine, and I thought that would be a fun thing. But I don't know. I have to decide because I'm definitely going to get through my Gospel Rye soon. It won't last much longer. Okay, so Nettie, rye. I'm not obsessed with rye, but it's good to have some. So for those who don't know, there are a number of different whiskies, and they're different based on what is in the mash that makes them. Rye whiskies are more than because they're grain whiskies. Rye whiskies are more than 50% rye, and that tends to make them have this slightly spicy sort of flavor in them. Other whiskies might be majority wheat or barley, which is a softer taste. Okay, Kirsten has gone all caps backwards rye. So I'm just going to do a little search. Backwoods rye whiskey auto completed on Google. Oh God, okay, it's a little bit expensive. Let's have a look. Backwoods Distilling Company. Oh, they look like neat people. Our whiskey releases sell out quickly. Subscribe to our mailing list. Yep, no, I believe that. Our whiskey and gin. Right, buy now. What's for sale on the Backwoods site? Yes, I'm over 18. So they're making High Country gin. Ooh, geez, that's a bit pricey. Let me have a look at it. Rye whiskey, crafted from a mash bill, 100% Aussie grains, matured in American oak casks, previously held Aussie Cabernet. I'm liking the sound of that. Distinctive Aussie rye whiskey, awarded silver in the prestigious London Spirits Competition. Mash bill is malted rye, barley, winter wheat, chocolate roasted malt. A vatting of 3 American oak ex Aussie Cabernet casks. Tasting notes, it's like dark rye bread, vanilla, and golden syrup. 46%. Fuck me. Oof. It's a micro distillery. Second to your rye. Okay, the Archie rye is very good, and I just tried to mix it up a bit. So Raiders, it's two degrees cooler than you, the Melbourne CBD. Yeah, that makes sense. Oofed. I might do it. Because I like to mix it up. I like to taste different things. I have become a fan of the Gospel Rye, which is a Melbourne rye whiskey maker, since trying their rye. But I think I'll probably wait. I'm on their mailing list. I'll wait till they say, "Hey, fuck off, man! We're doing this thing, and it's limited edition. Get some!" And I'll probably do it. All right, I'll think about getting Backwoods. Wait, I fucking forgot to look where they're based on. Where are they physically? A distillery door back open, so they can't be in Victoria if their distillery door's open. So about visit us. Yes, where are you? Oh, they're in Yakandanda. Okay, they're in Yakandanda. So they are in Victoria. Oofed. Maybe when stuff is open a bit more, Mrs. Angry and I can have a dirty weekend away in Yakandanda. Nettie. Yeah, no, the price is steep considering how you get through Starwood. Man, again, Nettie, when you're into the Starwood, all I'd recommend is I can keep an eye. For some reason, the Coles bottle shops have these unadvertised specials, like sometimes Twofold's only $60. Sometimes Nova's like $20 off, and they don't advertise these specials, and it varies from bottle shop to bottle shop. But yeah, the Coles bottle shops have these unadvertised specials that are like 25% off, and it's fuck yeah. Sava, let's all get drunk on Friday. That's what usually happens. Oh yes, and don't forget friends, because we're friends of Kirsten, which means we're friends of Archie. Absolutely recommend pretty much anything from the Archie Rose collection. If you're buying something from Archie Rose, use the code Archie10 off to get 10% off. Yeah, Nettie, work out where your nearest Coles bottle. Oh shit, Nettie, you're in the city. Go to the fucking BWS, the Woolworths bottle shop in the QV building. They had all these fucking gins that were on such amazing specials, like Aussie gins that were like 25% off. It was wild. And they don't have, it's just because that particular bottle shop has some excess stock they're trying to get rid of. That's my tip to you, because you're in the city. Go check out the BWS in the QV building. They had some wild specials in there. So I was just thinking in terms of Archie 10 off. What's on the Archie shop at the moment? Because I've had most of these. Okay, the core range. Rye malt whiskey I've had. Fuck yeah. Single malt whiskey, which I've got at the moment. Fuck yeah. They make a vodka, which Abigail gave a thumbs up to. I think I had the distiller's strength gin at one point, which was good. The white rye I've been tempted to get, which I haven't got. Limited releases. God, they've still got the bone dry gin. Oh my God, I've got the bone dry gin there. It's fucking great. Such good martinis to be made from a bone dry gin. And although I don't like coffee, apparently the Archie Rose St. Louis coffee blasphemy coffee whiskey is, if you like coffee, is apparently fucking great. I don't like coffee. But having said that, I've made drinks with Mr. Black's that I'd really liked. Yes, I did have the distillers. I thought I did. Oh, yes, Raiders in Lonsdale and Swanston Street for the QV building. Yes. Because I went there because I had a dentist appointment in the city and I didn't want to go public transport. So I drove in. I thought, if you drive in QV and then spend some money at either Woolworths or Dan Murphy's, you get free parking. And I wanted to get like a particular rum that Dan Murphy's had, and that would pay for my parking. But while I was there, I just went to the BWS, the Woolies bottle shop, and they had this shelf of fucking gins that was such good specials. And I got to, I had no intention of buying anything here, and I bought 2 bottles of gin because it was like, fuck, okay, I'm fucking getting that. So yeah. So not only were they on special, that I saved, $38 of parking. And I mean, even public transport would have cost me $10. So I saved $10 by not, and would have exposed me to fucking diseased people. So you want to do that. Yes, Kirsten, apparently anyone who likes coffee says the blasphemy coffee whiskey is fucking great. And I have the bone dry gin and it's amazing. It is really good. And just the distiller strength gin, the like Archie's standard gin is great. This limited edition, the bone dry, fucking amazing. It's really good. I'm just going to have a sip before bedtime. Only a sip of. Okay, I'm going to show you the 2 I got that I never intended to get, but they were just on special, so I got them. And these were not the only ones on special. There were another couple of ones. I really had to decide between them. This one, Poor Tom's, which a few of theirs have had good reviews. This one was called Pina Colada Gin. And it's 42% alcohol. So it's like flavored with tropical flavors, but it's still 42% alcohol. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, Kirsten, at some point, the new signature dry gin is going, probably when I finish the bone dry, really. And there was this one that I didn't really know, but I looked at it. This was the Story Wines gin. And it's just like the botanicals they put in here: finger lime, citronella, lemon myrtle, aniseed myrtle, cinnamon myrtle, mountain pepperberry, wattle seed, ryeberry, orris root, and organic juniper. And I just thought and this is a great dryish gin. Makes a really fucking good martini. Micro USB. Yes, you made it here with no time left. Awesome. I'm just going to have a sip of the pina colada. See if I love that noise. See if it tastes like a cocktail at all. But yeah, I never intended to get those. But they were just like 25% off. And I was like, fuck, okay, yeah, I'm doing it. Freed up some shelf space so I could, because my drinks cart was pretty much out of room. So that's pretty good. That tastes like gin. It tastes like gin. It's very easy drinking gin. But the juniper is right there, even though, like they say, this is a pina colada gin. It's like, okay, I get that you've got a whole bunch of different botanicals in there, but and it's very light gin. Oh, it's good. Oh, nice, Kirsten. You saw some pretty great specials posted in the gin Facebook group. I should join one of those groups because I wander these bottle shops and see this and go, what the fuck? That's amazing. What are you doing, Mike? Are you been buying old games that are selling for $250? Not buying that. Oof. Raiders, I don't think anything in the QV food court is open at the moment, but you're right. There's some good stuff in the QV food court. Superman, for soups, right? I think November, December stuff will open up again there. Kirsten, it's the Australian Gin Appreciation. So I should, because the BWS in the QV building had just freaking amazing specials. Micro, in November will be even. Oh, does your time change in November? Okay. We've had our change. I mean, okay, this is a really light gin. I think this is one that you could get people who think they don't like gin to drink, because I don't drink many gins straight. But this one, Story Wines Gin. Just going to have a sip of this before bedtime. Not even a shot, just a sippy sip. You go back an hour. Okay. God, dude, you'll be hanging out for friggin'... Sorry, the ice just splashed about and splashed gin in my face. Okay. You'll be hanging out for Friday nights when I'm on all night. Okay, that's a drier gin, which I appreciate. That's your much more traditional. Oof. Man, that is a good combination of botanicals. That is a good dry gin. This is if someone says they hate gin, they probably won't like this one. But if someone says they hate gin, you could probably get them on board with this one. Mix it with something. If someone says they hate gin, you don't want to give them straight gin to drink, for God's sake. But make like a gimlet with this, or a white lady or something. A nice light cocktail with this, which is a very sort of fruity gin. I just noticed it's like embossed on the bottle, Poor Tom's Gin, which I probably won't keep this bottle. It'll probably take me ages to finish this bottle, but I probably won't. I've kept a bunch of bottles. I just keep different bottles like this. That's a fun, different shape. So I'm keeping that. And the Mr. Black one, fun, different shape, also with weird mystical occult symbols on it. I might accidentally summon a demonic figure. Marco, when you hear dry gin, you think of the TV show MASH. Yes, because they had a still in their tent, which would have been distilling some fucking brutal moonshine that they were calling gin, which leads me to suspect they were distilling a base spirit with some sort of botanical they were finding in Korea. And again, you could probably get some good botanicals in Korea, but I think what they were really drinking in MASH was some pretty fucking brutal moonshine. Just an unaged spirit. Marco, how dry do you want it? Drier than dry. Again, for people who don't know the terms with martinis, because that was the thing, Hawkeye in particular would make martinis. He had a martini glass. Dry means a martini is a mix of gin and vermouth. Dry means less vermouth. When someone says drier than dry or bone dry, they literally mean like a splash of. They mean mostly gin. They mean like a splash of vermouth, or maybe even just a rinse of vermouth in the glass to temper the gin. Like fucking Winston Churchill, his references to his martinis, it's like, no, Winston, you're actually just asking someone to give you a glass of cold gin. It was just like he wanted so little vermouth in his martini. It's like, Winston, just ask for a glass of iced gin. Honestly, what the fuck? Winston was a major alky. But yes. Nettie, MASH was a good show. I was very into MASH. And I remember, because I grew up with a MASH TV show, and many years later, I saw the movie, which inspired the series MASH. And the movie was way fucking darker than the TV show. Oh, Jesus. The movie was way darker because the TV show had that nice instrumental theme. That's actually a song. And in the movie, they play the song. The song's called Suicide is Painless. So that shows you how much darker the movie was than the TV show. But yeah. Oh wow, that is a fun trivia, Micro USB. The set is in Malibu State Park. You got to visit it. Nice. Nice. That is a fun bit of trivia. I like that. Okay, so these are good gins. Like I said, a good one for people who say they don't like gin. Good one for people who like gins. Really dry, very good in a martini. I have a bit of a weakness for martinis. Yeah. L3's at Hogan's house. Never did see back then. Nobody here to spoil the party. You're here just in time to say good night, my friend, because it's 10. So I'm going to bed, and I've been sipping gin just before bed, which I wouldn't normally do, but which probably just means I'm going to sleep heavy. So lucky for Mrs. Angry, I will be actually using my CPAP machine, my breathing apparatus, which will stop me from snoring, which is good. Oh yeah, Micro. Even here, Halloween stuff is in the stores. Yes, that is. Oh yeah, nobody. You forgot we had daylight saving down south because we do. So good night, everybody. So yeah, I won't be on tomorrow night. What are we watching with Mrs. Angry? Watching season 3 of Britannia, and watching a sort of dramedy series that Taika Waititi produced called Reservation Dogs, about young folk living on an Indian reservation in the US. It's worth watching. In Australia, it's on Foxtel. I don't know what else it's on, but Reservation Dogs is worth watching because it's just this really interesting dramedy. Focuses on some young folk growing up on the res in the United States. But yes, we will be possibly watching a mix of Reservation Dogs and Britannia tomorrow night. And then I'll probably be back on a stream for Thursday night. And we'll have this great run. I'll probably be doing streams on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I won't absolutely commit to that. That is probably what's going to happen. So what's that? Nobody saw a meme about daylight saving. Only a white man can cut 2 inches off the top of a curtain, sew it on the bottom, say he's gained more curtain. Nice. That is true, Micro, on the res. When they've got things organized, they can have their own laws and they can tell the federal and state government to fuck off. And a lot of Indian nations, like Native American nations, First Nations people, are asserting themselves more these days, which is great. On Reservation Dogs, it's a little bit depressing, but it's a good show. It's worth watching. So good night, one and all. All things being equal, I'll see you on Thursday night. Why the fuck is my browser making things pop up? I don't know. Anyway, so that's it. Out